We're on the record in two cases. The first case is cause number 325-356. Second case is cause number 322-360. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Luis Miguel Salvador. Mr. Salvador, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Salvador, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Salvador, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Salvador?
I'm doing good.
That's good. Mr. Salvador, in cause number 322-360, the information alleges that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of possession of marijuana, specifically alleged that on or about May 15 of 2018, while you in Jefferson County, Texas, that you intentionally and knowingly possessed marijuana in the usable quantity of 2 ounces or less. Mr. Salvador, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Salvador, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
Now, you're pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are guilty?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Salvador, I have before me a document that is titled titled misdemeanor plea admonishment, and it is labeled as State's Exhibit number 1. Mr. Salvador, on page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, LS, which purports to be your initials. Are those your initials?
Yes, sir.
And one set is on the line that says guilty. The other set is on a line that says, I do not request discovery of the evidence, and I waive my right to request discovery in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. And is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay, on the next page of this document, there's a signature that purports to be yours above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document, which is a trial court certification to defendant's right of appeal, there's a signature at the bottom above a line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you are waiving, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Salvador, prior to signing these documents, there were 2 other documents that I have. Well, prior to signing these documents, the court explained to you the rights that you had as a defendant without an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You were informed that you may hire an attorney, and if you did not have enough money to hire an attorney, you may request an attorney to be appointed to represent you. And 3, you were also informed that you may represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
After the court fully explained to you those 3 options, you informed the court that you wanted to waive your right to an attorney and to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you also was read the waiver of counsel that is in State's Exhibit number 1 that you signed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing and initialing these documents, State's Exhibit number 1 and the trial court certification to defendant's right of appeal, did you have an opportunity to read these documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you read these documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Salvador, the state is offering State's Exhibit number 1 to be used as evidence in your case against you. State's Exhibit number 1 is the document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence against you in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Now, Mr. Salvador, is there any evidence that you are currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No.
Okay, Mr. Salvador, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers was freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, the offer is 10 days credit for time served, tax, and retire the court cost.
Okay, Mr. Salvador, the state is offering, in this case, that you serve 10 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any more time in jail on this case because you've already served 10 days. Therefore, you'll be given credit for time served. If you owe any court costs, you would not have to pay that court cost either because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, your court costs will be taxed and retired. Mr. Salvador, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Salvador, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Now, Mr. Salvador, your second case is cause number 325356. In this case, it is alleged in the information that on or about November 27 of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify a fugitive from justice. Mr. Salvador, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Salvador, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Guilty.
Now, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading guilty because you are actually guilty?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Salvador, I have before me what is marked as State's Exhibit number 1 is the misdemeanor plea admonishment. On page 2 of this document, there are 2 sets of initials, one on the line that says guilty, the other on the line that's under the paragraph of discovery admonishment that states that I do not request discovery of the evidence and I want to waive my right to request discovery of the evidence in this case and choose to enter a plea of guilty or no contest. Mr. Salvador, are these your initials?
Yes, sir.
On page 3 of this document, there's a signature above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
And Mr. Salvador, on the next document, which is a trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, there's a signature above the line that says defendant. Is that your signature?
Yes, sir.
There are 2 boxes that's checked at the top of this document. The first box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The second box states that you are waiving or giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Salvador, also prior to signing these documents, like in the previous case, you were informed of your rights as a defendant without an attorney. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you was informed that you had a right to either hire an attorney, or if you did not have enough money to hire an attorney, you could request an attorney be appointed to represent you, or you could represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And after the court explained to you those rights, you chose to waive your right to an attorney and to represent yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And the court read to you the waiver of counsel that is located in State's Exhibit number 1. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, prior to signing and initialing State's Exhibit number 1 and the misdemeanor and the trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal, did you have an opportunity to review these documents?
Yes, sir.
Did you review the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you reviewed?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Salvador, the state is offering State's Exhibit number 1 to be used as evidence against you in this case. State's Exhibit number 1 is the document that have your initials on page 2 and your signature on page 3. The state would like to use this document as evidence against you in this case. Is it all right for the state to use this document as evidence against you in your case?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibit number 1 will be admitted. Now, Mr. Salvador, in this case, is there any evidence that you're currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Salvador, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of guilty and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. It's for 30 days.
You have that, Judge. Okay. 30 days, Jefferson County Jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Salvador, the state is offering that you serve 30 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You had a commitment with the court. And Mr. Salvador, also in this case, you'll be required to pay court costs of $327. Would you be able to pay that $327?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Salvador, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Salvador, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Salvador, you will be required to serve 30 days in jail plus pay the court costs of $327. Mr. Salvador, you'll be given credit on this case for any time that you're entitled to get by law. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Salvador, have a good day.